Hey, what's going on, y'all? Jay from JS Films. In this video right here, I'm going to be showing you how you can use the new Metatailor app to clothe a metahuman in Unreal Engine 5. Let's go. All right, so here we are in Unreal Engine 5.3. I just have a project open here. And the first thing we're going to do is actually import our metahuman inside our project. So to do that, I'm going to go to the plus box, go to Quixel Bridge right here, and go to my metahuman. Now, I already pre-downloaded this, so you don't have to wait a long time watching this video. And I'm going to go to my metahumans right here, and we're going to be using this character right here. I already have it downloaded, so you don't have to wait. But if you haven't done so, just download your character and add it to your project. So I'll minimize that. And as you can see, we have our metahuman already in here, ready to go. Next, what I will do is create a new level, file, new level, and I'm just going to open a new basic level. I'm going to drag and drop our character in there. Now, the next thing we're going to do is select that character, if not already done so, and reset everything to 0 right here in the details panel. See this, you can see better. Make sure everything is 0, 0, 0. Basically, what we're going to do is make sure that she is in the middle of our scene. Next step, with the metahuman selected, I'm going to go to File, Export selected. Okay, so I created a new folder called mtt-tut, and in here, I'm just going to create an FBX called xioc.fbx. You can name yours whatever you want to. I will save this, and then since I already have one in there, I'm just going to replace it with a new one. And I just unchecked everything, FBX 2018, then export. Next step, we're going to go to the MetaTailor app, so I have that open right here. And on the top right corner, I'm going to open and create a new project. So to do that, just go to the top right corner right about here and click on Create New Project. Next, what we will do is import our character that we exported out of Unreal Engine 5. And to do that, go to the top left corner, click Import, go back to the right, go to Avatar, and now we're going to find that character. Here's the character. I will say Open. Here's our character now. I'm not going to change anything here. I'm just going to say Next Step in the bottom right corner. What the MetaTailor app just did was go ahead and create some landmarks on our character. It did a pretty good job, but what I'm going to do right now is just kind of make sure everything is lined up correctly. So I'm going to right click and drag so I can kind of go around. If I press F, I can actually go back to my front view, just like so. And if I middle drag, I can actually move my camera around. So for this one, I can see that the nose tip is just a little bit off, so I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to drag our gizmo. Additionally, you can just drag the middle of it, but for me, I like dragging like this, because now I can go to the front and make sure that it's right in front of the nose. Now you can spend a lot more time in here if you want to, but for the sake of this video right here, I'm going to be lining up her nose tips and her skull crown, because that's a little bit off. That should be kind of like on top. So I'll move it up. And again, don't forget to go back to your front, because if you look at this right here, that looks great, but you got to make sure that it's also good on the front of your characters. So move it right here. Remember, this is a 3D model, so you got to make sure that all angles look good. All right, so I'll press F, and everything looks pretty darn good. Again, overall, it did a pretty amazing job. Now, once you're done fixing your landmarks, look at the bottom right corner and click on Next Step. Now, if you look at the right side, we just added the avatar. I can double click that, and now we have our avatar selected. So let's go get her dressed. Now, instead of just using the library, I'm going to be importing my own custom clothes onto this metahuman. So to do that, I'm going to go back to the top left corner, import, go back to the right, cloth and accessory, and again, I'm going to go to my downloads, go to my leather. I have a jacket that I want to import, so I'm going to be doing that right now. Now, I'm not going to be tweaking any of the settings. I'm just going to go to the next step. I'm not going to import any textures. And then on the right side, I can select what type of clothing this is. This is a jacket. So there it is. I'll click on Next Step once again. And in here, I'm going to press W or Move, because now I want to line this up with my character. Again, right click to move that camera around. And I want to make sure that her neck is in the middle of that jacket. Perfect. I'm going to click Confirm, and I'm going to click Start Post Match. Now, what this is going to allow me to do is actually post match the character to the clothes. Again, I'm going to click on the gizmos here to help us out. Go. The hand. And what's cool about it is it's already mirroring it to the other side. Okay. Let's go right here. And again, just make sure that it looks good in all angles. And the wrist right here, I can move it a little bit more. Now you can take as much time as you want, but I think I'm pretty happy with this result right here. Now once you're done doing that, click on confirm, and then click on next. There you go. Magic. Now you just rigged that clothing to the Metahuman skeleton using the MetaTailor app. But we're not going to stop there, because obviously we're going to need some pants. So I'm going to click on import once again, cloth accessories, and I have some pants right here. All right, so here's our pants. Say next step, and I'm going to click on pants. All right, once again, next step. Press on a W, and for this one, I'm just going to move it up slightly in place. Okay, kind of like that. That looks pretty good. Confirm, start post match, and once again, we're just going to pose our Metahuman and make sure that it kind of fits inside the pants. All right, moving this here, moving this here. All right, that looks pretty good actually. That didn't take too long. Actually, let me go ahead and fix this down here. All right, I'll click on confirm once again. Next step, and boom, my pants are on. So we have now our custom clothes rigged to a Metahuman. And what's cool about this is I have now the jacket and the pants in my library that I can use onto my other avatars if I want to. Additionally, I can also look in here and maybe add a couple more accessories if I really want to. So what we're going to do next is actually export these to Unreal Engine 5. So to do that, I'm just going to go to the top left corner, export. Now in the folder name, I'm going to change this jacket and pants, FBX, PNG. I'm not going to change any of the scale. I'm not going to be exporting the avatar because we just need the clothing. And I already have the actual save location to this folder. And I'll just click on export. All right, so now that we have that done, it created this folder. I'll double click. And as you can see, we have jacket and pants right here, which is good. It's what we want. Minimize that, and I will minimize this. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to Unreal Engine 5.3 and create a new folder. Right click, new folder, MetaTailor jacket, and then I'm going to drag and drop that jacket and pants. In the skeleton, I'm going to select Metahuman, and we're going to be using the Metahuman scale. Now, depending on your project, you might have multiple of this, so make sure that you are actually selecting the correct one. In my project here, I only have one Metahuman base scale. It's actually the skeleton of your Metahuman. I'll say import, and just like that, we imported our custom clothes from MetaTailor app onto Unreal Engine 5. Now, I didn't import any textures or materials in MetaTailor app, so you're just going to have two materials that are empty. But that's fine, because I'm going to be applying the textures in here in a second. Now, what I'm going to show you is how easy it is to use this custom clothes onto our Metahuman now. With our Metahuman selected, I'm going to go to the right side and click on Edit the Blueprint. I'll drag and drop it to this main screen. Now for me, I'm going to be applying the custom clothes in the torso. So I'm going to click on the torso, and I'm going to go to the skeletal mesh asset. Click on this, and I'm going to type in jacket. Select it, compile, save, and minimize. And just like that, we now have a custom clothes for our Metahuman. Pretty insane stuff. What I'm going to do next is actually import some mocap animation data onto this Metahuman so you can kind of see how it works. Now, as you all know, I do a lot of rap animations, rap music videos on the channel, so I'm going to be using one of my rap animations onto this character. So that being said, let's go back to the content browser, and now I'm going to go to my mocap folder, which I already imported. The animation we're going to be using is the Take 1 version 1 right here. Right? So this skeleton is just like an Unreal Engine 4 mannequin skeleton. So what we're going to do next is we're going to be bringing in an Unreal Engine 4 mannequin so we can retarget from Unreal Engine 4 onto the Metahuman. So let's go ahead and do that. I will close this for now. And in the add, I'm going to be adding a new feature or content pack. I'll select third person and add that to the project. What that's going to do is actually create a folder called characters with an Unreal Engine 4 mannequin and rigs, which is pretty sick. Now, I'm going to go back to my Unreal Engine 4, meshes, and I'm going to go check out that Unreal Engine 4 mannequin skeleton. Next, I will go to Windows, Asset Details, and in the compatible skeletons, I'm going to be selecting my wrap skeleton animation. So click on the drop down, and it's named Take. So Take 1 V1 skeleton. Okay. Next, I'll save that, and then I'm going to search now for the Take 1 V1 skeleton in my content browser. So I'll minimize this, and here it is. What we're doing right now is we're telling Unreal Engine 5 that the Take 1 V1 skeleton is pretty similar to the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin skeleton. Now, this only works because this skeleton, the wrap one, is actually just like the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin skeleton. So if you have a skeleton that's different than the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin, this is not going to work. But for me, part of my workflow is making sure that I retarget all my animations into Unreal Engine 4 mannequin skeleton, so then I can retarget it to anything I want to. So what we'll do, again, similarly, is I'm going to go to Window, Asset Details, Compatible Skeleton, and you guessed it, now we're going to type in UE4, and then select the SK mannequin skeleton. I'll save this and close. Now, just for the sake of sanity, I always do a double check. If I go to the gear icon right here and go show retargeting options, we want to make sure that everything is set to skeleton except for the pelvis and root. So let me go to my Unreal Engine 4 skeleton also and make sure everything is set to skeleton except for root and pelvis. Save, and then minimize. So the next step of this process is now actually retargeting our wrap animation onto the Metahuman. To do that, we're going to go to the content browser. We're going to go to Metahumans, Common, and you're going to see right here we have an RTG Metahuman, which stands for Retarget Metahuman. I'm going to double click. All right, so here is our Metahuman now, and she is in Metahuman A pose, which is good. And on the right side, you're going to see we have source and target. If you don't see this, just untwirl the options and you should be able to see this. The source IK asset and the source preview mesh, this is where we're going to be pulling that animation from. And then the target is where we're going to be pasting it to or copying it to. So for the source IK asset, I'm going to be selecting the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin. So let's do that. All right, so we'll click on IK UE4, and you're going to see that we have our UE4 mannequin here now. And in the source preview mesh, I can actually select my Take 1 wrap skeletal mesh. Because remember, we told Unreal, hey, the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin is the same exact thing as my Take 1 wrap. Now, right off the bat, you're going to see something different. The Unreal Engine 4 pose is a lot different than the Metahuman pose. It's a little bit wider. But in Unreal Engine 5, 5.2, they included a retarget pose anim. I am not finding this in the 5.3, but you can simply copy and paste it from the 5.2 or just download it in the comments below. In the description, I'll put this pose asset if you're using 5.3. So to get this pose to match with our Unreal Engine 4 mannequin, we're going to go to the target. And I'm going to say create and say import from animation sequence. And I'm going to type in retarget. I'm going to click this and say import retarget pose. And as you can see, her pose is going to get a little bit wider, similar to the Unreal Engine 4 mannequin. Again, if you're in 5.2, you might not need to copy and paste this. You should have it already, just like I showed you. But if you're in 5.3, I think they got rid of it. I'm not sure why. Maybe they're changing it or something. That being said, we have the pose matching as close as we can. But before we click the actual animation, I want to make sure the chain mapping is also correct. So I'm going to go to the left right here. And on the left side, you're going to see we have all these metacarpal bones. The only problem is our Unreal Engine 4 mannequin don't have those bones. So for left pinky metacarpal, I'm just going to set that to none. And this is very, very important Because if you don't do this, your animation is going to look very, very janky. So I go, and we're going to do some right one, like twist. Okay, set those. We have metacarpal. Everything should be good to go. And now if we go to our asset browser, and I click on take one anim, we can now see our metahuman animating like my wrap take. Next, what we'll do is go ahead and export this animation so we can use it with the metahuman. To do that, just go to export selected animation, and I'm going to right click here and create a new folder named retargeted. Press export, minimize, and now we have this animation, the retargeted. Double click it, make sure it's working. All right, perfect, it's working. Finally, what we're going to do is put this metahuman in a sequencer and apply that animation and see what happens. So to create a new sequencer, just go ahead and go to the top, add level sequence, MetaTailor, and then click our metahuman BP, track, actor to sequence, add our metahuman in there. We will delete the rig and the face, and then in the body, animation, take, boom. Now I am going to have to rotate her a little bit because she's kind of facing the wrong way. So I'll just press E to rotate. I'm going to hold control, zoom out, because I want to set this endpoint about right here. All right. After that, I'm going to click on the BP again, go to details, go to LOD sync, and I'll just put this to 1 so we can get her hair back. And then press play. And let me get closer in there. All right, so it is animating. That's good. And what I'm going to do is import those textures so that this looks a lot better. Click on MetaTailor, and I have it on my other screen. All right, I'll drag and drop all of our textures here. All right, let's start with the pants. Gotta minimize this. We have an albedo here. Plug that in. We have a normal. Plug that in. And we have an AO, roughness, and metallic. Make this bigger. Ambient occlusion, roughness, and blue channel is going to be our metallic. Apply and save. Perfect. There goes our pants. And now it is a little bit too shiny for me, but I'll take care of that in a second. Now, we have 2 jackets. So let me open up jacket 0, delete this. I'm going to do the same exact thing here. Jacket albedo, whatever you want to call it. Jacket normal. And jacket AORM, which is again, ambient occlusion, roughness, and metallic. Apply and save. Okay, so that was it. Now that looks cool and all, but what I'm going to do is actually have an environment in here that we're going to be putting this character in, so it's not just this background. I usually just work in an empty level, and then when I'm done, I put everything in the level that I'm going to be rendering in. So again, let's go ahead and put everything together. We have the blueprint. I have the blueprint right here. All right, and again, we're going to create a new sequence. Wrap, track, actor. Pretty much do the same exact thing we did in the empty level, but now this is our actual for real level. 1. And once again, we're going to rotate her. And that looks a lot better in this environment than in the white level, right? Because we actually have some lights in here, which is looking pretty sick. Or lit. All right, create a camera. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, now we are cooking. Set my camera right there. Press play. Oh, I forgot. There's a really long idle in there. So let me fast forward a little bit. Maybe like right here. Actually, I need to rotate her a little bit more. So she's actually, look, So she's actually looking towards the camera here. And I'm going to drag this camera so that it's throughout the whole thing. Okay. Ta-da. Okay, I'll move her down a little bit. Probably about right here. Oh man, she is rapping in there, man. She is rapping. And I think what makes this entire thing 100% better are her flip-flops. That's amazing. I mean, from here, I usually do maybe a 70. Just punch it in some so we can get some depth of field in there. And that's pretty much it for this video. That is how you import custom closed into a MetaHuman using the MetaTailor app. If you want to check out the MetaTailor app, check the description below. Also, make sure to join their Discord so that you can learn all the good stuff, know when there's new clothes coming in, so on and so forth. That being said, if you learned something new today, make sure to click the like and subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 100,000 subscribers this year. So please do support the channel and check out MetaTailor app. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out.